The following is a Sooner Vision presentation. On this edition of Inside Sooner Football with Bob Stoops, highlights of the win over Iowa State, an interview with Jerry Schmidt, Oklahoma's strength and conditioning coach, a Sooner Millennium moment from a bowl game against Texas Tech, and we'll look forward to this week's game against the Red Raiders. From the Sooner Vision Studios at Memorial Stadium at the University of Oklahoma, it's time for Inside Sooner Football with Bob Stoops.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Tegans, along with Bob Stoops, the head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners, and coach a tough road win. Those things are hard to come by. You got a nice one last week.
It was a good team victory. Obviously, Iowa State's a much improved football team, and we realized that going there that many people have had some very tough football games there this season, and we did for a while there through the game. I was proud of our players that in the second half picked up our intensity and made more plays and really executed well in all parts of the game. Defensively, created turnovers, gave our offense the ball in good field position, and offensively really got our running game going. And some excellent runs with Quentin Griffin and Reggie Skinner were really strong. And so Jeff Ferguson had a great day punting, which was a major factor in field position. So it was a good solid victory.
Well, let's take a look at the highlights. Some good ones to show you on another beautiful day in Ames, Iowa. This time of year, you never know. But, Coach, let's take a look at the highlights. And, of course, you did a great job defensively. Your team's really stepped up the last couple of weeks.
They're really, I think, starting to get into a fairly good groove and understanding what we're doing and how we need to get it done and tackling well. And here we're going to create a turnover. Here the quarterback keeps it on a short boot. And great tackle there. I believe that's Barry Holloman comes in and makes a nice stop right there and really tackled well. You know, anytime here's Corey Heineke creating a fumble, a turnover, and it gives us the ball at the 20-yard line. We get a field goal out of it, and first points of the game. But able to hold Darren Davis to 50-some yards is difficult to do. And I think he only had, I thought someone said 3 or 4 runs the entire day that netted plus yardage.
3, I think, yeah.
3, and that's difficult to do. So he's an excellent running back, and we really had good discipline in where we were supposed to be on the run game and tackling well when we got there.
And you talked about, we have all year, how great Davis is to be able to do that. Also, 244 yards of offense is all Iowa State got.
Again, yeah, just solid all-around defense. Good run defense right there. You see tackling Davis, and that's Corey Heineke, again, who had an excellent game. And then pass defense, we had a bunch of deflections. I think Mike Woods had 3 or 4 deflections. Rodney Rideau, another interception. William Barty, an interception.
And you talk about your special teams and great punt coverage here.
Jeff Ferguson, I believe, for the game averaged 43 yards punting, and he had his best kicks for instance, right here into the wind. He had a couple into the wind that were over 43 yards. So really was a big factor. He kicked one out of the end zone that was near 55 yards, I believe.
Here's one of the deflections you're talking about. This is a great play.
A nice play here by Roy Williams. Breaks up the pass.
Now you're on offense. You know, people talk about, boy, Josh didn't play all that well. He had 2 more touchdown passes. And how about this little guy?
That's a great play there by Josh Hypo and Quentin Griffin, the two of them. The play was sort of bottled up, and he did a great job shoveling the ball to an open area, and Quentin found it and made a run to get in the end zone with it. There's Seth Luttrell pounding it up the middle. Seth had another strong day, running the ball, blocking. Here we throw a little corner route out there to Curtis Fagan, and Curtis gets it upfield. That was on 3rd down. That was a big pickup for us.
Now, what happened on the running game? It was something they did, and I'm sure it's something that you guys got more confidence as the game went along.
Well, it's just there's Quentin Griffin again making something happen. Got a guy unblocked there. He makes the guy miss, gets it upfield for a first down. Quentin made some exceptional runs on his own, running through tacklers, making some people miss him. Reggie Skinner found some nice holes. The offensive line created some nice holes, improved in our blocking and in assignments, as well as at times the way they were trying to defend us, they had sort of given us an opportunity to run the ball a little bit. So all of it together just amounted to a little better job running. Here you see Quentin making a player miss him.
He's pretty good at that.
Finds a small crease, runs through one tackle, and right here it's great blocking downfield by Jarrell Jackson. Quentin cuts off of him and gets it in the end zone.
Now he's healthy, right?
He's fine, yes. Here he is again.
Look at that.
Scoots in through the hole, runs through a tackler, gets the ball in the end zone right here. Big play.
You know, a lot of people talked about bringing him out of redshirt. It was a great move on your part, wasn't it?
Well, we, as you know, an offensive staff and all, we talked about it, and it felt really there was no choice. You know, there's plenty of games left. We needed to win, and Quentin's a team guy and wanted to do whatever he could for the team to help us win.
And here's Reggie Skinner, another 100-yard rusher for you.
Reggie had a strong game. Nice run right there, popping the ball up the middle. And here's an excellent run by Josh Norman. Runs through a tackler right there on a third down play and gets the ball upfield and in the end zone.
Josh will be playing against his brother this week when you guys go to Texas Tech.
That'll be interesting.
Talk about, we had some highlights of Corey Heineke. Talk a little bit about him. He's really stepped up and played well for you.
Corey's improving each week, defensive end, and is really playing well. Had an outstanding game against Iowa State and had an excellent game against Missouri, really back-to-back games, and really does a nice job on the edge. He's a tough player. He plays very hard and likes to play, physical. So he's doing a nice job. We're very happy, and hopefully he'll continue to get better.
Again, the fact that you guys went on the road, it is tough in any conference, but especially in this one. How do you feel your team overall is playing right now, Bob?
Well, we're starting to play pretty fairly consistent, and that's what we've been pushing for, at least in the last couple of weeks we have. It's important, again, that players realize that you need to do it each week. And so we have had a good week of practice. We need to be able to put it together, and we realize we're going to get Texas Tech's best shot, and we've got to be able to meet that and be prepared to take it and still execute and do as well as we can. And so we're getting there. It's been a season where we're learning,
sure,
I think, each and every week. And as the season's gone on, I'm confident that we are learning a lot.
Well, a big win for the Sooners as they're victorious last week. We're going to take a break and come back and talk about the strength and conditioning program at Oklahoma right after this.
Inside Sooner Football with Bob Stoops is brought to you by Phillips 66, Oklahoma Tank Lines, OG&E, Gatorade, Love's Country Stores, National American Insurance Company, IGA Super Thrift, and Coke. Are you the ultimate Sooner football fan? If you are, stop by any Fred Jones Auto Collection and register to win an OU football fan pack for an upcoming home game, courtesy of your friends at the Fred Jones Auto Collection.
Welcome back. We are talking Oklahoma football with Sooners head coach Bob Stoops. And coach, at this time of the year, conditioning, it's always important, but at this time of year, really important, and you've got a great program in place here.
I'm really happy with our strength and conditioning program. Jerry Schmidt is in charge of that and really does an excellent job. Jerry's had great success everywhere he's been. He's got a great staff, Corey Edmond and Chris Dawson, Scott Bird, all those guys really contribute a lot to our players and have great relationship with them. And really throughout the year, I don't know if we've had a pulled muscle. So our guys are really in good condition, lifting and strength-wise, and able to get through the season really in pretty good shape.
Well, Steve Newman had a chance to visit with Jerry Schmidt, and here's his report.
When the Sooners took the field last Saturday in Ames, Iowa against Iowa State, it represented a great deal of preparation, not just in the past week, but in the past year, to get ready to play football. And it all started with strength and conditioning coach Jerry Schmidt.
Well, I think it all starts, back in January, when I got here, you kind of wonder how, their attitude was going to be. I think it all started then, and I just remember having a meeting with the coaches and those guys were going on road recruiting, and just with my staff, put together, Coach Stoops and Joe Castiglione gave me a great staff, which was valuable because I could really, concentrate on these guys. But I just remember that first day, the first meeting, the first day that we worked out, just the look in their eye like, hey, we want to do anything that's going to take to win.
The Siegfried Strength and Conditioning Complex, which is part of the Barry Switzer Center, helps in that goal to win.
Our Siegfried complex is first class. It's one of the best in the country. It's 13,000 square foot, and what's nice about it is really it's kind of a long-shaped facility, and both ends are the same. So no matter if you got how many teams that you've got in there, it can accommodate at both ends of the facility. So it allows you to have the same type of equipment throughout the facility, whether it's cardiovascular or lifting. So it allows you to. I normally only bring in about 12 to 15 guys at a time for football, which allows us a good area to work in.
All the sacrifice and work that has been made in the Strength and Conditioning Complex is now paying off out on the football field.
The seniors have been through a lot, and you could tell that they were hungry, and the whole football team was hungry to get back on track. And it seemed like it was just like yesterday, and we went through that phase, went into spring football, had a good spring, then a summer. We were down by the duck pond pulling sleds up a hill, in 100-degree heat, and doing different things to challenge them, and some days they probably wish they'd have thrown me in the duck pond, but it was, where we all got together and said, hey, we're gonna challenge ourselves every day, and then hey, let's see what happens during the season. So I'm really proud of these guys. It was fun to work with them.
And Jerry and his staff continue to work with the players as Oklahoma goes after win number 7 this weekend in Lubbock, Texas.
Well, he's done a great job for you.
Jerry's as good as there is, and players really love him and love working with him. And his staff and Jerry, they had an immediate impact on our players and a great impact on our players, like Jerry had said, right away in January. And it made a huge difference leading up to this season. And it's given us a chance to have some success and to make improvement.
Well, he's done a terrific job. We normally don't have time to talk about what's going on nationally in football. Since we have a minute today, you got Florida State coming up this weekend, huge game. You've got Virginia Tech that's been a surprise. Anything stand out to you on the national scene this year?
Well, you notice a lot of parity. I think it's obvious you see more and more teams that maybe aren't that hadn't been up in the top 10 all the time or all. There's a lot of people now fighting for those top 20, top 15 spots, and there's a lot of parity in college football, and you really notice it in conference and in all the major conferences. You see anybody can get anybody on any given Saturday. It's who's prepared to play and ready to play, and when they get out there, makes the most plays in the game. But there's a lot of parity anymore in all conferences and certainly in the national scene.
I guess what you said is probably the major factor. If you're prepared to play and you go out and do what you're supposed to do, in this day and age, you can grab a win sometimes in difficult places.
There's no question. Who's the most prepared and ready to go after it's got the best chance of winning. And anybody can get anybody, that's for sure.
This is your first year as the head coach of the Sooners. Has it just gone by very quickly? We were talking a minute ago. It's hard to believe that we're 2 weeks left in the season.
Seasons usually do go by pretty fast once you're in the middle of it and going through it. But it's been enjoyable. It's been fun. I appreciate the attitude and work of our players and how they've, since the first day we were here, and how they've accepted what we're trying to do and that we're having fun. The guys are working hard, but having fun with it and learning and enjoying, I think, the process of improving and learning how to succeed and handle some success and to get better each day out on the practice field, and hopefully we'll continue to do that.
Well, we're going to take a break, come back with a look at a Sooner Millennium moment right after this.
Be sure and enter the Carl's Jr. Punt, Pass, and Kick contest, and you could be kicking for $1,000 and more at halftime of the next Sooners home game. Stop by area Carl's Jr.'s for entry forms.
Welcome back. It's time to talk now about the Sooner Millennium Moment. The year was 1993. Oklahoma taking on Texas Tech. It was a good one for the Sooners. Here's Steve Newman.
Thanks, Bill. Christmas Eve, 1993. Oklahoma versus Texas Tech at the John Hancock Bowl in El Paso. The Sooners were worried about a running back for the Red Raiders by the name of Bam Morris, but as it turned out, they didn't have anything to worry about.
A huge national television audience watched Christmas Eve as the Sooners took on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. The only thing OU would lose on this day would be the coin toss.
There's a pass down the middle of Corey Ward, caught at the 5-yard line and down at the 1. Cale Gundy gets the exchange, hands off to Chandler over the right side, touchdown Oklahoma. High formation, Gundy rolls right, throws a pass to the end zone, touchdown Oklahoma to Brady.
The Sooner defense spent the afternoon shutting down Bam Morris and the rest of the Red Raiders.
Back to pass. Bam Morris only back behind him. Throws a pass intercepted by Coates at the 29-30, 25-40, 45-50, at the 45-40, at the 35, at the 30, and out of bounds inside Tech's 30-yard line at about the 26.
Cale Gundy finished a great Sooner career with 3 touchdown passes.
Gundy straight back on about a 5-step drop. Throws down the middle. It's caught by Ward at the 19. He's at the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown Oklahoma.
A 41-10 victory in a bowl game was quite a present for the Sooners back in 1993, the next morning on Christmas Day. Back to you, Bob and Bill.
That was a good one for Oklahoma.
Coach Gundy looked good throwing that football.
He did,
I'll tell you
he?
what, that's fun to watch. That was a great game for him.
Okay, you get ready to travel to Lubbock, taking on Texas Tech's Red Raiders this weekend. A team that's had some injuries. They've been hot and cold like a lot of teams this year. What are you looking at when you go down to Lubbock?
Well, for sure, we look at all the good games that they've played. And they've played some excellent football games through this year. And we realized going down there with their last game at home and with a bunch of seniors who want to go out with the winning season, and we'll have and see their best game, and their best team will be out there playing. So. We've got to be able to focus on ourselves to make sure that we're at our best, ready to play, and playing on that sort of top edge, and that we can hold them off and make more plays and make the plays that make the difference in the game. So that's what we're concentrating on.
They've had some injuries earlier in the year in the running back situation, but they've had guys step up and have done some great jobs. Their quarterback, as we speak, may or may not play. Does that change anything for you guys?
Not really. They're going to run the same offense that they've been running. They won't change here in the last game of the year. So we'll focus in on their major plays, the things that they like to do and operate out of, and make sure that hopefully that we can execute against it and get prepared even for defensively for all the things that they do. So certainly it'll be a big challenge, and we'll have to be ready to play our best.
And again, it's one of those road games, so it's always difficult, but we're going to take a break, come back with some final thoughts on Inside Sooner Football with Bob Stoops.
To hit you.
And welcome back. And Coach, as you get ready to head to Lubbock, 6 wins on the season. You stand with a 6-3 record. That means you're bowl eligible in a winning season.
Sure is. Assured of a winning season, that's for sure. It doesn't assure you of a bowl game. And what I like is, in the locker room after, our players certainly recognizing they're assured a winning season. But what I'm hopeful is that they're more hungry now because they've had a taste of some success, but they want more. And certainly it'll be very disappointing if we can't continue to build off of this and continue to be successful and win. So we still have a lot in front of us here this year, and we're going to keep going after it, hopefully.
And Oklahoma will be back on television as well this weekend. Don't forget Sooner Football 99, the playback show with Coach Stoops. Check your local listings for that. Coach, best of luck, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Bill.
Our thanks to Bob Stoops. I'm Bill Teagan. So long, everybody.
Inside Sooner Football with Bob Stoops has been brought to you by Phillips 66, Oklahoma Tank Lines, OG&E, Gatorade, Love's Country Stores, National American Insurance Company, IGA Super Thrift, and Coke. Furnishings for Inside Sooner Football provided by Mr. Robert Fine Furniture in Norman. The proceeding has been a Sooner Vision presentation in cooperation with Sooner Sports Properties.